own the Rockets in the playoffs. They've beaten them 4 times. This time, Houston wins this one. 109-94 is the final. Jalen Green pumps in 38 points. How about Alperen Şengün? Nearly a triple-double. 17 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists. Steph Curry going for 31 in Game 1. Goes for 20 here. Eclipses 4,000 points in his playoff career. And the Warriors just did not have enough to get it done, as the series is now tied at 1 game apiece. Game 3 set for Saturday in San Francisco. Get some instant analysis. Welcome in CBS Sports NBA insider Bill Ryder. Jimmy Butler, injured in the first quarter, did not return because of a pelvic contusion. Got undercut by Amen Thompson. You and I watched it together. Did you think that play was dirty?
Watched it 7 or 8 times. Wanted to come up with a different conclusion. Couldn't. Yes. To me, it looked like a dirty play. And I think the officials in real time thought maybe Draymond Green had pushed Thompson into Jimmy Butler. Didn't look that way. Looked like a very dirty play to my eyes, at least.
All right, so nothing happens there in terms of a technical, but now the Warriors feeling the pain there, not having him rest of way, and they lose this game. Considering his injury history, Jimmy Butler's injury history
in the series, but the Warriors were really good defensively before Butler arrived. They're better, but they were a great defensive team without Jimmy Butler. They were a mediocre to poor offensive team without Butler, and they were a top 7 offense in the time since Butler got traded. In part, and we saw this tonight, because Stephen Curry, and no superstar, but even Steph can't do it on his own. So Amen Thompson and all those other defenders for the Rockets can hone in on Steph Curry. They can make his life a lot harder. He doesn't have another superstar to turn to. It's part of the reason they were able to shut him down as strong, but really confound Steph in a way they couldn't in Game 1. When Jimmy's out there, you can't balance as a defense trying to stop both those guys, and they play off each other so effectively. It's huge for the Warriors. It's huge for Steph Curry.
Can the Warriors win this series without Jimmy Butler III?
Great question. They can win the series, and they probably won't win the series without Jimmy Butler if he were not to play. And I say that as someone who, in all the predictions we do here on CBS Sports HQ and just as sports fans, who was the most sure of this pick when I said the Warriors would beat the Rockets, for all the reasons that were evident until Jimmy Butler went down. And I knew they were down in that game, but with Butler, it's just a different Warriors team. They have more experience. They're able to exploit in a lot of ways the fact that the Rockets have not played this kind of basketball. But Houston's incredible physically, dirty or otherwise. They are the best offensive rebounding team in the country. They are big, they are long, they are tough. Those are all things Jimmy Butler helps to combat. So yes, Akeem, can they beat them? Yes. Are they likely to? I think the odds flip from being very heavily likely the Warriors win a good series to the other way around.
Got a few days to rest up. Hopefully, for Golden State's sake, it's enough for Jimmy Butler. We'll see about that as the series moves to San Francisco on Saturday. Happy to go back home with a split. Houston had to earn it in Game 2. After only 7 points in Game 1, Jalen Green showing up big in Game 2. 38 points, including 8 made threes, Bill. What was different for Jalen Green in this game?
Different day of the week. He's one of the streakiest. Şengün is not going to go create his own shot. The guys that do that are maybe Amen Thompson and Jalen Green, if he can get in rhythm. And he got the second bucket of the day, minute and a half into this basketball game. Doesn't seem like a big moment, but he hit that first shot, and he's the kind of player, hits his first 2 shots, he's lights out. Misses his first few shots, gets a little cold, he struggles. He struggled in Game 1. He didn't in this game because, Akeem, he's one of the streakiest guys out there, and the streak played to his benefit and the Rockets' benefit tonight.
Rockets had more threes in the first half of Game 2 than all of Game 1. They finished with 15 in the victory. Do you think Houston can sustain this in a 7-game series?
I think that they can sustain the level that they need to play at to beat the Warriors, as we discussed, if there's no Jimmy Butler. But no, they can't sustain this level of offense. They're good, they're fine offensively, they're okay offensively, but they don't have, again, a single guy. You know that Donovan Mitchell is going to be that guy if you're playing the Cavs. You know that Stephen Curry is going to be that guy if you're playing the Warriors. Go down almost every team that has a chance to be outstanding. You don't know who that is in Houston. You don't know who's going to go get you buckets with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter of a close game. If we get to that point over the course of this series or another series, Jalen Green is one of the answers, and Thompson's one of the answers, and Van Vliet's a veteran, but he couldn't buy a bucket in Game 1. So no, they're going to be inconsistent as a shooting basketball team in terms of shooting percentage and efficiency, because they have been all year. If they're going to win, they're going to have to do it in the margins on offensive rebounding. They're going to have to do it points in the paint, get down transition, confounding Steph Curry, and they're going to have to do it with a little bit of luck. And you don't want anyone to get hurt, but from the Rockets' point of view, Jimmy Butler playing would be a pretty nice break if you're Houston.
Rockets have to do something they have never done before. That's beat the Warriors in a playoff series. Houston 0-4 all-time in playoff series against the Warriors. Series tied at 1 game apiece. Moves to San Francisco on Saturday. Bill Ryder here on CBS. Back-to-back 30-point games in this series, and he needed all 17 of those in the fourth quarter because they had to hold off the Miami Heat. It got dicey, but the Cavs hang on and close it out thanks to their superstar, Donovan Mitchell. All right, back here at CBS Sports NBA insider Bill Ryder. And Bill, look, Miami gave it a run. They got that game to as close as 2 in the late minutes of that game. But Donovan Mitchell, what did you see from him in the fourth quarter?
That's the big takeaway. I'm about to disrespect the Heat, maybe not as much as you just did. In the Eastern Conference, the 1-8 and the 2-7 series aren't in question who's going to win. What is in question are maybe some of the details on what it says about each of these teams going forward. We know the Boston Celtics can win an NBA championship. We saw it last year. They're outstanding now. There are question marks around the Cleveland Cavaliers, and one of the biggest ones is what is Donovan Mitchell on a team that is expected at a minimum to make the conference finals, and in Cleveland the expectation is much further than that. It's to be a champion and certainly to make the finals, and this is a huge answer to that question because you're right, Akeem. This is a Heat team that pushed Cleveland, that were more physical. We knew Eric Spoelstra was going to make sure his team had a response. It would have been nice if the Heat had gotten a little bit of help for Tyler Hero and Donovan Mitchell under that pressure in a situation where they could have lost game 2, and all the noise would have started that Cleveland's a regular season team and Donovan Mitchell can't get it done in the playoffs. He was outstanding, the 17 points in the fourth quarter, the big shots. There was a moment where he and Hero were going back and forth. Hero was good. Mitchell was great.
He was. And for a while there, it was which D-Mitch 45 is going to lead his team to victory because Davion Mitchell, who came over as part of that Jimmy Butler trade, was excellent down the stretch, keeping them in the game, hitting big bucket after big bucket. So when you look at this from a Cleveland Cavaliers perspective and you go, well, they were supposed to win this series. They're supposed to maybe win in 5 or maybe a sweep. Does it give you cause for concern the way they had to win this game? Because, look, when you're a top seed, as you know this, you are going to get criticized. It's the way you win games or the way you lose games at this point in the season.
It's a great question. I love that you gave Davion Mitchell, by the way, Davion Mitchell some love because he is such a perfect fit for what the Heat do, and it's part of the reason that they pushed this Cleveland team, and it's part of the reason the answer to the question is no. You get the W, you win by 2 or 48, it counts the same. And I know people get a little frustrated. Maybe you're watching a little frustrated with what I'm about to say, but the Heat way is a real thing. That culture and that tenacity and that defense, and it was elite even after Jimmy Butler left, that's a factor. And so Cleveland's not going to lose this series, but again, to face that, to have Miami push you, to find a way to win, to have your guy Donovan Mitchell be a hero, I think it speaks volumes about the Cavs' resiliency. I don't think it says that there's a problem. I think it says they can handle situations, including the kind the Heat are going to throw at you, even in a 1-8 showdown in the postseason.
At this point for Miami, what are the adjustments to try to get a game, right? This is you're trying to get a game. You're trying to go back home. What is it?
I said this to you earlier. It's get a different roster. Can you get Jimmy Butler to come back? I mean, so maybe what you're going to try to do is just understand that as good as this Cleveland offense is, it's the best in the NBA. And as much as it is deep, and it really is, it's normally going to be Donovan Mitchell, who's the guy that leads the Cavs. It doesn't have to be. So this is a high wire that's Eric Spoelstra and company have to walk. It might be just double down on trying to make someone that is not Donovan Mitchell beat you. Make it be Evan Mobley. He can do it. Make it be Darius Garland. He can do it. Make it be Ty Jerome. He can do it. I mean, this is not an easy task, but Donovan Mitchell is answering the call of what are you in the postseason? What are you in the playoffs? You are the tip of the spear of this outstanding basketball team. Does that translate to when it really feels stressful and different? The answer is yes, and Eric Spoelstra and his defense. And again, really good Heat defense, even after Butler went away, are going to have to find a way to, at a minimum, make sure it's somebody other than Donovan Mitchell beating you in these moments.
Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, and Donovan Mitchell combined for 71.
That's pretty good.
What are you getting from Evan Mobley this season that maybe you weren't getting last season?
By the way, that's a great question. He's a totally different player. And the credit goes, I think, to Kenny Atkinson in large part because...
Coach of the Year.
Yeah, and he should be. And he was my vote for Coach of the Year.